Hi friends, Mickey Mankus here and welcome to Out the Back Door. Today I want to talk to you about snowshoes and the difference between them, so join me. I've got a few different pairs of snowshoes here that I want to share with you. And when somebody is first getting into snowshoeing, to make sure that they're going to like it and it's a little bit easier for them, I usually start them on a metal one. They have a large claw on the bottom here so that they get better traction, where the traditional wooden ones will kind of slide sometimes if you're going up and down hills. These are also a lot more reasonably priced compared to the traditional wooden ones, so that's why I usually suggest people that are just starting out snowshoeing, give these a try first. There's different types of bindings that are on them. Most of these have like the plastic clips that go in and snap, so they're really easy to put on and off. These are a Trail Series Yukon Charlie. So this is a Yukon Charlie brand. Most of the stores you can find any type of a snowshoe like this that has an aluminum frame on it. Now I'd like to talk about traditional snowshoes. That is what I prefer, but they do cost more. Now, I'm going to be going out in a short while for a walk out the back door there, and I am going to be wearing these. Now, I don't remember the technical name of the style of this snowshoe. I call it my brush snowshoe because it's easy to maneuver through thick brush on these in comparison to the taller ones here. They're good for going through the brush, and they're also good for when you don't have a lot of snow or the trail's been packed already. This would be a good choice to use because you don't need such a large area to float on top of the snow. Now, when I'm using these on the trail, I don't sink down very far. If I go through fresh snow, I'll probably, if there's been a snowstorm, I may drop down anywhere from 8 inches to 12 inches into the snow, because I am not covering such a large footprint surface on the snow. What's the purpose of snowshoes? To float on top. Because if we were just stepping on the snow with our boots, we're going to sink down further. If the snow's deep, I'm going mid-thigh, no problem, you know, the way I go in. Think about a deer with long legs and they're slender. They don't have a whole lot of coverage. They have a really hard time getting through the snow, and I feel bad for them. But anyway, this is what I'm going to strap on in a little while, and I'm going to head out back and I'll bring you with me. This is an Alaskan style snowshoe. As you can see, the front scoops up here. It's got a bit of a tail on the back, but the footprint that it leaves on the snow is much larger and bigger. This allows you to float on the snow a lot better than you would a shorter one. So there is a difference between the snowshoes and when you'd want to use them for what application. Now, if we have a really heavy snow, I'm definitely going to want to strap these on, especially if I'm breaking trail. Because what's happening, my weight is dispersed over a larger area, so I'm going to stay on top. So as I was mentioning with the small ones, if I'm going through fresh snow and it's deep, I'm going to sink a lot further down with the little ones compared to these. These, if it's really deep snow, I may come down about 6 inches. But that's another thing about the scoop on the front, is that it keeps your foot from catching underneath, especially if the top layer of the snow has started icing up before you get out there. Now these, I've gotten caught underneath the deep snow. And I mean, I've actually tripped. I've gone face forward on these because they've gotten caught underneath the crust of the snow that's been built up, you know, over time, a few days or so. So anyway, these I really do like going through the brush. I like them when I'm walking on the trails and everything, but these are my go-to when I'm going through deep snow or fresh snow. There's also Michigan styled snowshoes, and my husband has a pair of those. The bindings he's got on those are a little bit different. They're rubber. As you can see, there's many different styles of bindings that you can also buy. There's also bear paws. Bear paws I can't wear because my legs are so short, and I don't want I'd be tripping walking on top of the snowshoes because they are so wide, so that doesn't do me any good. But there's many different styles of snowshoes out there, so I suggest that you do some research on it and find what's going to work the best for you. Another thing I like to use are walking poles. These are all seasonal. I happen to have like the ski points on them right now so that they dig into the ice really well. It gives me a little bit more stability, especially if I'm going up or down hills. And it also gives me a little bit more of an arm workout when I'm walking with them. It's not necessary, but if you have a little bit of a problem of trying to stay stable on the snowshoes, maybe give walking sticks a try to begin with. I've also used cross-country ski poles when I've gone snowshoeing also. I want to talk price points for a moment here. Now, these snowshoes, the aluminum ones, depending on where you go, you can probably find snowshoes that are aluminum like at Walmart, Target, places like that. Hardware stores would carry them, sporting goods stores. But the aluminum ones you can probably get from starting at maybe $35 and go up from there. It all depends on if you're buying a name brand or something inexpensive. There's also a different type of mountain climbing snowshoe. It would have the aggressive claws on the bottom, but they are very short. They're probably about this size and that's it, because when you're actually going up a steep incline, you can't even have something this long. You're not going to be able to make it. I don't have anything like that because I have no purpose for doing that, and I don't plan on climbing up a mountainside. So that's kind of the price range on these, anywhere from $35 and up. Now, if you're going to go to a traditional wooden type snowshoe, these I picked up at a local sporting goods store, and I think these ran me about $250. They do not come with the bindings. You have to buy your bindings separately, where on the aluminum ones, they do come with bindings already. So these are a little bit more expensive. These were made in Canada, and to me, it was well worth it. The Alaskans, these are actually almost antique. They are definitely vintage. This pair here, it came from my family. It was passed down. They were my great uncles, and they came from World War II. That's when they were used. So I'm very grateful and to be blessed with that pair. Now these I noticed, now I don't know what a brand new pair would cost right now, but the older style like this, the vintage ones, I've seen anywhere upwards of $400 and more. So it can be pricey. Now the pros and cons of the metal, the aluminum ones versus the wooden ones. All right. The aluminum ones don't cost as much as the wooden ones. But on the other hand, the wooden traditional ones, I like these because they're more quiet when you're walking in the woods versus the aluminum ones. But there's one other thing. With the wooden ones, you have maintenance, and you don't have maintenance with the aluminum ones. These you need to varnish. I use spar varnish on it. Actually, my husband went and spar varnished these this fall. He laid them out onto horses and went and gave them a couple of good coats, because when you do walk a lot on these, you start wearing the varnish off. The snow is actually ice crystals, and over time, especially if you're walking on hard snow, it's going to start scraping away at the varnish on the wood here, and you want to keep that protected along with the sinew and everything. You want to make sure that every year when you are varnishing these, that you are looking over and make sure that you don't have any breaks or cracks or anything like that in them or on the wood. And so that's a little bit of a drawback there, where you do have to maintain these, but traditional are awesome. So that's just a little bit I wanted to share on the snowshoes and the different kinds there are. And I just wanted to share which ones would probably be the best for which applications. Okay, as long as I told you about the snowshoes and everything, I'm going to go for a short snowshoe myself. We're going to go out the back door here down the trail, and I grabbed a bag of carrots. There's not a whole lot in here, and they're past their prime for me to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm heading out to the porcupine den, and I'm going to see if he's around. He was there yesterday when I went by. I am going to give him a couple of carrots for a treat. So let's check this out. Okay. I'm heading through the swamp right now. Sorry that it's so bumpy along here. It isn't smoothed out very well yet. We don't have a huge amount of snow yet, but we do have enough to go snowshoeing. And what we do is we're packing down our ski trail. So that's why we come out here quite a bit. We make many passes and we make them wider and wider. Because then when we do get enough snow, Mr. Mankus will take his homemade groomer and he'll groom the trail so that it's a nice solid foundation. And then he'll take the tracker out and he'll track our cross-country ski trail into it. We're still able to walk with the snowshoes along the side and not wreck the trail, but for now we are just continually packing down. We're packing down the trail. And so to get to where the porcupine den is, we've got to go through the swamp area here. I forgot to mention earlier, it has finally warmed up to 3 degrees Fahrenheit, kind of chilly. I wore gloves. I should have had choppers on because my fingers are stinging. And that's my own fault. I should know better. But anyway, so I'm not going to go real far today. I'm just going to go and feed the porcupine. And then I'm going to head back home. Okay, this is where I was just at. And the deer like to use this trail also once we get it packed down. Normally it's all cattails. You can't get through here. We also use this trail at times when we need to go get our firewood. So we'll take the snowmobile through here. And we cannot get our firewood unless this swamp is frozen up. Porcupine den is back there. I'm going to go up a little bit further and show you the trail that he's been using across our trail here. So, I don't know if you can see. I can't tell. It doesn't look like he's been out today, but he cruises around. I'm sure he's looking for trees to chomp on. That's how they're feeding. Most of the animals are browsing during the winter time for food. All right. Now, yesterday when I was in here, I had my Alaskans on. You know, I had a hard time getting in here. That's why I made sure to put my my brush snowshoes on. Okay, I want to be quiet. I don't know if you can see him or not. He's in there hiding. He goes in head first. All right, I gotta try to get the carrots out of the bag and I'll toss them down in there. Okay, yesterday, he was moving around a little bit. Hi, Mr. Porcupine. I don't want to hit him and disturb him. Hi, Mr. Porcupine. I'm not doing so well because this tree's got some branches in the way. Well, like I said, he'll come out. You know, if I was him, I wouldn't want to come out either. It's cold out here, and
That's where he's just tucked away. And the reason he goes in head first is to protect himself, because then if any predator comes along and tries to approach, attack him or anything, they're going to get a face full of quills. So anyway, I guess he's not going to be moving around too much today. I don't know, he may be sleeping, or it's just too cold and he's warm right where he is and he doesn't want to budge. So all right, I'm going to pull out of here and hopefully he'll find the carrots in a while. Porcupines like apples also. So any of the apples that I have that aren't very good, I can check on a day or two. Somebody had suggested to me to feed him carrots and apples, and I said, you know what? It's bad enough I feed the deer and the grouse and the birds at my house. I start feeding him, he's going to follow me home. I'm going to have another pet to feed. That's all right. I enjoy the wildlife out here. One of the reasons I live in the country. So, yeah. All right. My fingers are beyond frozen cold. They're painful. So, I think it's time for me to start kick it in high gear and get back home. Oh, the person that told me to bring the porcupine some carrots and apples, he says, oh yeah, and you can pet it on the head too. Just make sure that you stroke your hand the right direction. I'm thinking, dude, I am not gonna start petting a full-grown porcupine. Let's just try that. I don't think so. So anyway, all right. What a gorgeous day out here. I love getting out and enjoying nature, the outdoors, and yeah. So see you back at the house.
So, Marlena, what made you decide to get into this last year?
You know, I don't really know. I had a conversation with you, thought it would be fun, and you were gonna lend me a pair. You did lend me a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
And then I decided, my husband says, go out and buy your own if you think it's so much fun. So I did. Here I am.
Awesome.
And I can do it on my own property.
Yeah, that's true. But we can go a lot of other places too.
Yes, we can.
Other than exercise, what do you like about snowshoeing?
Well, when you're out in the woods, you see all kinds of bunny tracks, squirrel tracks, the deer that have jumped around here and there, where they've bedded down, you know, different things like that. You know, I like the nature. So
Me too.
some of the trees are pretty interesting to see.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of fun.
See, I think it's pretty special that I have a friend like this that's willing to go out and snowshoe with me. Because usually I do it by myself.
Here we go. Now, how do I get up? Oh my goodness.
Should I leave her there?
Oh.
You need a hand?
I think yeah.
All right. Okay. Are you going to be able to get up, or do you need me to pull you?
I think if I put my hand on the edge of my... No, I can't do it.
Don't pull me over.
Yeah, because you don't...
Okay. Okay. This is what happens.
Snowman.
Yeah. Okay, this is part of the fun of snowshoeing.
First time in the year.
That's all right.
First time since I started.
Okay, so this is Marlena, my friend and my neighbor down at the end of the road from me.
Marlena,
Yes, ma'am.
what do you think of snowshoeing?
It's very hard to get up when you fall,
That it is.
but it's fun. It
What-
gets me outside in the wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in northern Minnesota. Last year was the first time I've ever been on snowshoes. Go figure. I used to hear about snowshoe baseball on Myrtle Lake, and I thought, oh, that sounds like so much fun. Never did it. But it's very good exercise. And even more when you fall.
Well, okay. Fortunately, we don't fall all the time.
No, first time.
Especially on a flat surface.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for coming along with me. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, hit that notification bell, and give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. So until next time, you have a wonderful day. God bless.